Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
A suspect is in custody after a shooting injured a man and rattled a West Hartford neighborhood. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. One person is in the hospital tonight. The shooting happened on Hillcrest Avenue earlier today. Investigators shut down the street, but it has since reopened.
Fox 61's Stephen Reels was at the scene where this all happened. He shares what we know so far and how neighbors are reacting.
While the scene is clearing, a community is still reeling. A lot of the people who live here on Hillcrest Avenue tell me they've never seen anything like what happened Wednesday afternoon in the months, years, or decades since they've lived on this street.
I heard like 3 shots, but when I look over the window, I don't know what it was.
Angel Lopez says he was at his West Hartford home on Hillcrest Avenue when gunshots rang out just before 3 p.m. But he had no idea what happened. Little did he know someone across the street had been shot.
We flooded the area with cars, and then once we locked it all down, we had the detectives you've seen some of them responding now to actually work the scene.
Police found one victim at the scene who was taken to the hospital. Luckily, their injuries were not life-threatening. Yet it was still a moment that had people like Eric V rushing to check on their loved ones.
I got family that live over here, but this is a nice place. I never heard of this. They terrified. This never happened. You know, they're scared.
A quick response soon saw this scene come to an end with what police called an isolated incident with no threat to public safety.
We've arrested one suspect. They're in custody right now, and we have recovered one firearm.
Still, this night left people like Lopez on edge as they head to their homes and prepare for what tomorrow brings.
I moved out just like 3 or 4 months ago. They told me it's a nice place to live.
And what do you think?
I don't know now.
West Hartford police say they are still investigating the incident, so we're going to be keeping you up to date on air and online as we learn more. But for now, in West Hartford, Stephen Reels, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Stephen, thank you. Time now for a first look at the weather. It's a raw and rainy night out there tonight, but your morning shouldn't be too messy.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast. Lots of rain out there, Rachel.
Yeah, it's actually kind of relaxing out there, especially if you're home in your bed or on your couch, kind of hearing it fall. There's no flooding concerns out there. There's no icing concerns. So this is a pretty benign round of rain that's coming on through. And yes, it will be over before you wake up tomorrow morning. One thing I did want to show you, yeah, there's a little bit of blue here showing up in northwestern Connecticut, and this is right around Norfolk, and there is a chance that there's a few snowflakes that are mixing in at the higher elevations, but temperatures are above freezing, so I think it would be tough to get any accumulation out of this. So we'll see this rain come to an end between around 2 and 4 a.m. So here we are at 2 a.m. We're still seeing that rain across most of the state, drying out in Goshen, and by 4 a.m. we'll see that rain taper off everywhere. Overnight lows will eventually fall back into the 30s as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. And by the time the sun comes up, you will be able to see it. We're looking at a sunny start to the day with temperatures beginning in the 30s. By lunchtime, we're looking at temperatures climbing into the low and even some mid 40s as we head through the afternoon. And we're dry right into tomorrow night. However, I did want to let you know that we could see some festive flakes heading into Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and also now Saturday morning as well. And that could coat things up for a few communities. Not much, but again, enough to coat the ground. We'll talk more about it, your full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Rachel, thank you. A proposed project in the city of Milford is creating controversy among neighbors. Community members started a petition against the city, creating more housing in their area.
Fox 61's Kayla Kay tells us more about what neighbors are doing to make sure their voices are heard.
People who live on North Street and Kozlowski Road in Milford met with the city's Inland Wetlands Agency to voice their concerns about a proposal that will allow townhouses to be built in their neighborhood. What is now filled with trees and dirt on 843 North Street in Milford may eventually turn into 44 units of 3-story townhouses. This proposed project is a byproduct of the Connecticut Affordable Housing Act. However, some people do not agree with this plan. A petition that now has more than 500 signatures was created to stop townhouses from being built in their neighborhood. They say they are not against affordable housing, but rather they are concerned the proposed housing development could harm the environment, have detrimental effects on their community, and jeopardize the overall quality of life. One of their other concerns, a lack of plan for managing snow. But at a public hearing held Wednesday, the professional engineer on this project explained their snow management plan.
So that's a paver area, and we have a catch basin in that paver area that's a water quality chamber, and that catch basin connects to an underground galley system of 24-inch deep galleys. Snow melt from the piles is directed towards these hydrodynamic separators into the infiltration galleys.
The petition mentions people are worried having the townhouses there will also increase storm water runoff in an area already prone to flooding. Weismer tried to ease those concerns too.
I have designed the system, the storm drainage system, to slightly reduce the peak runoff from the project to the municipal system in Kozlowski Drive.
A professional wetlands and soil scientist says crews have also reviewed the property to see if it had any wetlands or inlands.
We visited the property about a year ago, November of 2023, and we studied the property and evaluated the soils. And we look at soils because that's wetlands are defined by soil type. So we did do shallow test pits using hand tools, shovels and hand augers, and took soil samples and observed them and determined that there are no inland wetlands on the property itself.
For more information about the petition and the city's meeting, visit fox61.com. We will also continue to update you on this story. In Milford, Kayla Cade, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
A student at Southern Connecticut State University is following in the footsteps of her mother and helping those in need on her campus.
The sophomore is training a guide dog with the help of other Southern students. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot tells us why this is so impactful.
Some students on Southern Connecticut's campus are training guide dogs for people who are blind or visually impaired. These students are also a part of Guiding Eyes Puppy Raising, which is made up of 150 students training future guide dogs. Meet Justice, a 9-month-old yellow Labrador retriever, and his roommate Ella Berniger, a sophomore at Southern Connecticut State University.
He's almost 10 months old. He's in training to be a guide dog for the organization Guiding Eyes for the Blind.
Berniger is training Justice in honor of Trent, her mom's former canine partner.
Our old dog passed away last year, was a failout from this program. He ended up having a very successful career in narcotics detection with my mom.
Berniger founded Guiding Eyes Puppy Raising on Southern's campus because she wanted other students to be involved with this effort.
They love Justice, which is great, and he loves all the attention as well. So it's just been really nice to build this community with people who are interested in volunteer work, Guiding Eyes, that organization, but then also just people who want to hang out and, you know, meet him, which is nice as well.
She says they are always looking for more volunteers on campus for this truly eye-opening experience.
You're the one carrying the dog, as hopefully he'll be helping someone else one day, but you just, it's a whole different experience whether you're just going out to a store or going somewhere more busy like a mall. It's totally different from if you're just going by yourself or with friends.
Right. And how does your mom feel about this?
She loves it. She thinks it's very sweet that that I'm continuing on. You know, I'm essentially doing what she was doing, training a dog.
Berniger tells me it's rewarding to train Justice for someone who will need his help in the future. In New Haven, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Kay. An update tonight from Bridgeport police who are searching for the suspect in a shooting at the University of Bridgeport. Police are looking for 18-year-old Dylan Cruz Tillery of Queens, New York. Police issued a warrant for his arrest today. He is not a student at the university. The shooting happened back in October inside Marina Dining Hall on campus. One person was shot in the arm. They are expected to be okay. Police believe Cruz Tillery knew the victim and had connected with him on social media prior to the shooting. Police are asking anyone who knows the whereabouts of Cruz Tillery to give them a call.
Bristol's DJ Hernandez, brother of Aaron Hernandez, has entered a guilty plea on charges of interstate threats. He made several threats in July of last year. Hernandez told a woman he would carry out a shooting at UConn, and he also threatened the lives of people out of state. When police went to arrest Hernandez, he told them he was going to shoot any officer who came near him. Hernandez faces up to 5 years behind bars. He'll be sentenced in February.
The man accused of stalking and harassing a Yukon basketball player pleaded guilty today. 40-year-old Robert Parmalee was arrested back in August for stalking Yukon basketball star Paige Beckers. Police found him at Bradley International Airport and say they found an engagement ring and lingerie in his possession. Parmalee told police he had flown to Connecticut to see Beckers at Yukon. Today, Parmalee received a 1-year suspended sentence and 3 years probation.
A Rhode Island man's facing charges for a deadly crash in North Stonington. This happened on I-95 northbound just past exit 91 back in January. Police say 22-year-old Joseph Teixeira was driving when he hit 2 vehicles. The driver of one of those vehicles died in the crash. Well, today, Teixeira turned himself in to police. He's expected in court next month.
And a scary sight in Rocky Hill today where a vehicle burst into flames in a Big Y parking lot. The Rocky Hill Fire Department responded to the Big Y on Elm Street around 3:20 today. Several other vehicles were parked close to the fire. Fire crews say bystanders in the parking lot were helping to move those vehicles away from the flames. Firefighters were able to quickly put the fire out. No one was hurt, and the cause of that fire is under investigation tonight.